Hi, welcome to 60 Minutes. I'm your host for tonight, Isaac Conde. Where tonight we'll be interviewing singer, songwriter, and Nobel Peace Prize winner, Bob Dylan. Mr. Dylan, thank you for joining us today.
No problem. Please call me Bob.
So, Bob, tell me a little about yourself.
So it all started back in Duluth, Minnesota.
Oh, I mean, your career.
Oh,
Your activism, poetry.
right. So I went to college at UNMN, and that's where I met Woody Guthrie. Yeah, Woody was a fantastic man. He was very influential. He helped me a lot in my musical and artistic career. He kind of expanded my bounds and allowed me and showed me how to develop my music into a more state-of-the-art, modern way.
So, do you think without his influence, you'd be the poet you are today?
Honestly, without Woody's influence, I don't think I'd be where I am today. I think he helped me a lot, like I said, expanding my bounds. When I made the transition to a more electronic music aspect, it was kind of hated on, but Woody inspired me to keep pushing. Even though I got a bunch of backlash for it, I still kept going with what I thought was best for my creative and artistic talents. But I think he definitely influenced me more than most people that I had met during that time.
So, in many of your works, you have crucial themes that you like to write about. What are some of those?
Yeah, good question. Well, most of the themes and the themes that I think I've written about the most are probably injustice and civil rights, and also Christianity and faith and rebirth.
Oh, okay. So going off of that, your sudden conversion to Christianity was a pivotal moment in your career. What was the cause of that?
I don't know. I just felt like it was a change I needed in my life, and I felt like faith was the change that I did need. It was a good change.
Well, it was because of a motorcycle accident.
I prefer not to talk about that. That's kind of personal.
Oh, that's understandable. So moving on, you became a very prominent figure in the Christian community following the release of your song "Every Grain of Sand." What was the motivation behind writing that?
Right. Well, I wanted to convey like some concept of transformation before some key events.
Key events in your life, for example, the motorcycle accident. So, going back to your theme of injustice and civil rights, how do you think your progressive beliefs and ideas have impacted your work?
Yeah, so I think it allowed me to reach a more large audience and also more diverse audience. I think it was a topic that needed to be talked about at the time, and it needed to be in more pop culture and entertainment, because civil rights was obviously not a popular topic, so I felt like I was just doing my part as an artist.
So, were you not scared that writing on such a controversial topic would put your career at risk?
Yeah, well, most of my songs were controversial during that time, but I never really felt my career was in jeopardy just because I was talking about things that really just needed to be talked about. It was never really about the money, it was more about the message that I was conveying.
So, going off of that, you've had many impactful lyrics in your songs. So, how does it feel to see other artists take your lyrics, use them in their own songs, and ultimately become more popular than yours?
I don't really view the music industry as a competition. I really view it as more of a space for creativity and ingenuity. I'm proud that my lyrics are part of such popular songs, and it makes me happy as an artist and lyricist that I've contributed to these musical compositions.
I understand. So, bouncing away from that a little bit, how do you feel your failed marriages have impacted your life as a musician, and can you provide any specific examples?
Yeah, I think the end of my first marriage definitely did have an impact on one of my songs, or my songs in general. I created my breakup album that went on to be some of the best, or the most emotional breakup album of all time by most critics. And it also influenced songs such as like Abandoned Love. But I definitely it did have an impact.
So, going off the topic of your most popular works, All Along the Watchtower is probably one of the most popular songs that you've ever written. It was written by you, but it doesn't really relate to your other works. Why is that?
Yeah, it doesn't really relate to my other works. Yeah, but I just wanted to create a story that could be interpreted in many different ways, and that it could be viewed and listened to, not just in one interpretation, but in many.
So, you said you left the song open to interpretation, but is there still any quote-unquote correct way to interpret the song?
Honestly, no. I just wrote the song just to write the song. I wrote a story, and that story has a couple different ways of looking at it, including like the ending and how it starts. But there's no correct way.
Okay, thank you for that. I just have one final question for you.
Yeah.
What happened the night of the motorcycle? On that note, I'm Ezra Conde. Thank you for joining us tonight at 60 Minutes. Join us next time when we host Hippie, Joni Mitchell.